Hello, Alicia. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview. Would you like to make a little introduction about yourself, how old you are, what you do?
Yeah, I'm actually 33 years old. I live in a small town. I work as a biotechnologue, and I'm single
Hmm.
for many years actually.
How is the single life treating you?
Really good actually. I needed to get used to
Hmm.
this, but now I think I get used to this life even too much, and it's
Hmm.
hard to change.
Hmm. Have you been in a string of long-term relationships for a while?
I mean, I had only one really long relation. It was for about 7 years. It was like, I don't know, my second real relation. And when we broke up, I just had a few very short relations.
How is the dating scene like in Poland?
I'm not dating in Poland.
Polish guys are not to your liking?
I don't know. They don't like me or I don't like them. It's never really good match. Nothing really serious. Nothing for longer. I don't know. Most of the time, I'm meeting with people from abroad, from a different countries. I'm not looking for this kind of guys, to be honest. But it is like it is. I don't remember when I was meeting
Do
with
you
someone from
feel
Poland.
do you feel you connect better with people from abroad?
Yeah.
Tell me, what was your first relationship like?
Um. It depends because when I was living in this relation, it was quite good. It was if everything was okay, and I was really in love, and I really thought it's gonna be, my future husband. But when I look at this now, after everything what I've been gone through, I really think it was freaking boring.
Hmm.
Because we were young, we grew up together, let's say, and we missed a lot of things that we should do as young people, but we didn't do it because we were in a relationship. So yeah, I would never come back to this time. I would never come back to this boy. Like him, I still respect him and everything, but I would never come back to this.
How old were both of you when you got into it?
Around 20 years old, I think. So we moved to other city together. We didn't live together from the beginning, but yeah, it's really like I told you that we were growing up together, learning this adult life.
And that was your first ever relationship.
No, I had something before this, but I wouldn't count it. It was like more fun, like teenagers. It was nothing serious.
Did you feel in this 7 year long relationship that you've discovered any specific aspects about yourself and your desires and interests?
You mean during this relation did I discover this? I don't think so. Like I told you, it was quite boring. I mean, I was good when I was with him, but we didn't try together too many things. We were living just a basic life without any craziness, without trying new things. Just, like people see the relation, and that was this kind of relation. Sunday.
So it was convenient in a way.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. It was. Yeah, when I decided that I don't want to be with him anymore, I was a bit scared. I didn't love him for a long time already. Not long, but for some time. But I was scared that I will ruin this peaceful life, and I wasn't sure what's outside of this, you know, safe world.
Do you believe that your experience is like with this specific relationship, is it any different from kind of the average Polish dating experience?
No, actually, I think it was very common kind of relation. I think people live like this.
Mhm.
Exactly in the same way. Just the basic sex. Yeah.
Holidays in Greece or
Yeah, yeah,
Turkey?
yeah. Something like this.
You used an interesting word earlier. You said boring. Like, what is the definition of boring, and what is the opposite of it? What is exciting?
It's because we didn't discover each other and we didn't discover the world. We just met. We liked each other. we decide that we fit to each other, and we live like this.
And were you friends before it?
Not really, not really. Met him and we, went into a relation really fast.
Tell me how you guys met.
Because of my friend, I was going to school with her, and that was her best friend since forever. They knew each other since they were kids. So we went on the party together once, and that's why I met him. I actually don't remember it very clearly. I just met him at some party. I don't remember when and where. Yeah, and we liked each other, like I told you, and it sparked. We started to dating, and that's how
Did
it
you
worked.
feel like this instinctual connection or desire at that period in the beginning?
Uh, I feel that that was the time when I needed to feel safe. I mean, I don't know. I was young. I was living in another city. I was very unstable emotionally, and I really needed to someone to feel safe with. And I think that's what I was looking for
Did you get it?
for some time. It wasn't always perfect, but at some level, I definitely felt safe. That's why I was with this relation.
What things would you change about the beginning of that relationship that would have made it better?
That's not an easy question, actually. It's hard to say that I would like to change something from the beginning because I was completely different person. So if I wanted to be it like this right then, that's probably because that's what I needed right then. But okay, the beginning was okay, but later I think that I lost myself in this relation. I was so sure that we will be together forever, and I trusted him too much. I believed in him too much, and I lost myself. He was doing his things. He was developed himself, and I helped him to develop him, and I stopped. And I would never do it again. Like I would never give anyone so so much anymore. Is
Weren't if by losing yourself you mean that you didn't develop your own character or your own interests?
yes, yes, everything. I lost my friends. We only had his friends. Um, I didn't know what I want to do with my life. Yeah, just I lost everything. Like kind of, when we broke up, I felt like I'm starting from nothing. I'm completely 0 point. It was my fault. I'm not blaming him. It was my fault, my decisions. But
Mhm.
it was freaking difficult.
How was the bigger part of those 7 years? Can you tell me kind of like the what is the main characteristic or theme of those 7 years? They were mostly just stability. Were there interesting things happening in between?
No, I don't know. I feel like it's some really old kind of relation. I closed the door behind me and it's like it disappeared. I don't remember a lot of things. I don't remember how I felt with him. What were we doing? I don't remember any great things. I don't remember any bad things. I don't remember what great was, why I was actually with him. I don't know.
Hmm.
Sometimes I think that I've been with him because I was weak.
Hmm. And by week, you mean
I needed to have someone to feel my value. Like I couldn't assure myself about my value without having someone next to me.
so this kind of validation that you get from the relationship in a way.
Yeah, yeah. I felt good because I was in a relationship, and if I would be single, I wouldn't feel good. Like there's something wrong with me, or I don't know. You know what's? Oh, I remember something because we went at the party. It was beginning of this. We were not even in a real relationship yet, but we went at the party. I think it's out of the record. And there was his friend, and I kissed with this friend. I don't remember why. I mean, the friend kissed me. Like I don't remember this, and I think he saw this, and it was such a huge fight because of this between him and this friend, between me and him. when I look at this, as me right now, it was like, oh my God, that was the real me.
Mhm.
I lost myself
Mm.
for 7 years, but I start like the real me.
And what kept the real you contained and invisible throughout those 7 years?
I mean, I felt that what I did with this friend was really bad, and I'm not like this, and I don't want to be like this. Don't want to do such things. I want to be in a stable relationship, plan to have a baby and build a house.
Mhm.
Nothing crazy, you know.
Do you think it was somehow the impact of the environment as well? Because our environment sometimes just tells us what we should like and what is the
Of
right way to
course,
live.
of course, of course, of course. That was obvious that you need to be in a relation and, the baby, plan to build a house or buy apartment. Yeah, of course, of course. That was kind of, relation I had in my mind because of what society teach me.
Mhm.
And then when I end this relation, I mean, we both ended. I decided that I don't want to go into any relation because I want to learn how to live with myself. To don't make the same mistake like that. I need someone to build my value. I just needed to feel good with myself, and I did this. And I started to live my life. It wasn't easy from the beginning, that's obvious, but I started to live my life, and I was, happier and happier every day.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't change
So
it.
would you call would you call yourself happy now?
I think about it quite often lately, but um, it's not perfect. There's a lot of things I still would like to change, and I'm trying to change them. But yes, I think I am happy.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I am happy. For some time in my life, I really thought that I'm not able to be happy. But maybe I just didn't live my real life. That's why I felt like this. Yeah, I'm happy. Like I said, it's not perfect. There's a lot of things I still want to do. I still want to change inside me, in my environment, everywhere. But it's good.
Mhm.
It's just good.
What do you say about this IT programming that kind of tries to tell you how to think and what to enjoy? Do you feel like there's too much of it around you?
Even if you're watching movies, they're always like happy ending love stories with happy
Mhm.
people who can be happy together, only being together. There's no movie about being happy single.
Mhm.
If you're single, that means there's something wrong with you. For if you're single for too long, that means something wrong with you. That no one wants you, no one is able to love you, or I don't know, or you're gay, or something like that. You can't have fun with people. You can't have too many friends because you're a slut. You're just not a good person, and you're not a
Mhm.
full woman.
You're not complete
Yeah,
without it. So there's this very strong culture of slut shaming.
yeah. Of course it is.
Is it is it from the outside or is it coming also from your subconscious that tries to control you in a way or control your behavior?
Yeah, because that's what I was, learning about this when I was a kid and teenager. So yeah, it's also from my inside. My mother asked me a long time ago that, yeah, but I would like you to be happy, to finally find someone you love, and maybe you could think about the kid or something. And I looked at her and I asked her, like, Mother, do I look like I'm unhappy? And she was like, No, you don't. And I'm like, So where's the problem?
Hmm.
And she didn't answer me actually, but that, shows in a very obvious way how people think about life, how you should live your life.
Hmm. I mean, a lot of us operate from this manual or this instruction book that is given to everyone,
Yeah.
which is mostly about how do we build stronger societies, but it's really not about how happy the individuals are.
Yeah, yeah. You just have to fit in this, this game they have for you.
Mm. Would you think of yourself as an open-minded person?
I think, yeah, yeah.
I mean, how would you
I'm
rate
open
yourself from
minded.
1 to 10 on open-mindedness?
Okay, I'll say 7 because probably there are still kind of things that I'm not very into. I still
Mm.
don't really understand them. I mean, nothing comes to my mind right now, but I'm definitely not 10, well, maybe 7, maybe 8.
Them and the remaining two are things that you desire to do, but you feel like you don't have this, mental mind that is going to execute them.
I don't know if I would think about it like this, that I would like to do this kind of things. I'm doing everything what I want. I don't look
Everything,
what.
everything.
Um, right now, yeah. It's nothing too crazy, but it's definitely not things that everyone around would accept.
Things like what?
Dating
Hmm.
different people in the different countries, visiting my friends all over the world.
You feel like you're being judged.
I'm not telling almost anyone about what I'm really doing and how do I really live. But if they would know, they would definitely judge me.
What kind of things that you feel that you do that are being judged if you brought them up?
And there are a few of them, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I have a friend I'm meeting with just for sex.
Hmm.
And what else? I was visiting my friend in another country, and being there, I decided that I just want him to be just friend, nothing more. And suddenly, I met someone else. And technically, I was still with this friend, but now I'm going there to meet with other friend I met there. Definitely, most of people would judge me for this in a very harsh way. I mean, I think that if you will not take care about your own happiness, no one will do it. And of course, that you can't. I mean, you have to do everything to don't hurt people, other people, intentionally. But still, on the other hand, you should first person you should think about is you. Even if you're in a relationship, the first person you have to love the most and think the most is you. Because if you're not happy and not satisfied, you will not give this happiness and satisfaction to this other person. So that's
Do you think you have this emotional capacity to handle multiple intimate connections in your life?
yes, yes, I do. Actually, that's what I'm doing right now.
What's the price for it?
I think is there's any price for this?
You
You can
tell me.
take the best from these relations. I mean, I still think that I would like to be in a relationship with just one person, but I still didn't meet this kind of person. So if you're always honest and this other person know that you're not in a relation, you're just having fun, you're just making each other happy for some time when you're together, that's okay. Why not? If
Hmm.
there's any price, I mean, the price, if I think about any price for this kind of behavior, is I don't know, that maybe you will miss someone who you really like because you can focus on just one person. Or maybe you will miss
Hmm.
this one person who's really for you. But other things, I don't. Nothing comes to my mind, to be honest. If you feel good with this
If
and people around feel good with this, there's no weak points.
Mhm. I'm curious here, if there were, let's say, the three most important traits that you would be considering or looking for if you're just focusing on one person, what would be those three traits?
Um, First of all, there need to be this kind of connection that makes us want that we want just each other. That's not happen too often, but I think it can happen. Um, this weird atmosphere you have with this person that cause that you want to be just with this person, to have her around you. Just feel good without even say a word, but you feel good with having this person close to you. Definitely sex. I really
Mm,
believe that it is very, very important part of relation. Because I know a lot of people who are in a long term relations, but the truth is that they are just roommates. They don't have
mm,
sex, have any intimacy, any sensuality. They just live together because they like to eat breakfast together. They like to go out with friends together, but it's not a real
it's
relationship.
convenient.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
There's a strong sense of convenience and safety. And what do you think is keeping those people from, desiring things that more exciting or things that are more intimate?
They scared to talk to each other. That's the first thing, I guess. Because they
Hmm.
don't want to be judged for this. Like, that you think only about sex and life is not about sex. Relationship is not only about sex. And if they would like to find the sex outside of the relation, they are scared to change their life because they live this convenient life, right? And a relationship it's a huge step always. People are people don't want to do it because they're scared. They're, too lazy.
Hmm.
And sometimes I'm pretty sure they feel that, okay, right now I feel that there's something missing. But what if I will end this relation and after a few months I will miss this person? Um I will feel that I would like her to come back and it will be too late. And they are fight with their own needs.
Hmm.
Uh, they quiet them and live their boring life with roommates.
Do you think that they ever cheat?
Some of them for sure, but not all of them. If you live with in this kind of relation without sex for a really long time, you just forget how good sex can be. That's why I think they don't cheat because they don't remember what good sex can give them, so they don't have these needs.
What do you think it means to them to have good sex? What is good sex to most people who are in sexless relationships?
I think it's different kind of feelings for everyone. It depends what you want, what you need. I think we all need to feel safe during sex, even if it's, kind of wild sex. You still need to feel safe with this kind of, safetiness. I don't know why. It's first what came to my mind. And because if you have this kind of feeling, you can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can cross your boundaries, and you can feel really good with this.
So the safety to let go of control and just be in the moment and genuinely experience
Yeah,
the moment.
yeah, yeah. If you have
My
this feeling,
my
you
opinion
can
is
really.
it is the responsibility of the guy to establish this sense of safety. It's like a lot of men are not really trained or conditioned to know how to widen their horizon. And I want you to tell me if you agree with this. In many ways, men are afraid of exploring further because they're worried about what they might find.
I think it's also because that's what we learned about sex. Actually, no one learned us about sex anything, and guys learning how to do sex from porn. So they don't know that we need kind of safety place, because that's not what they think. When they have sex, they don't think that you should feel safe.
Are the girls worried about the ego of the man?
Yeah, yes, yes. That's why sex conversations are really hard, because sometimes it's nothing mean from our side. We just want to provide you, I mean, show you what to do with us, and we both will be very satisfied with this. But men don't react good with this. When women try to tell them something like touch me in a different way, do this in a different way, I don't know why you always try to be, the most, the only person who know how to do sex is man.
Mhm.
And when women are trying to tell him something to do maybe different or something, they feel like, I can find the word.
Threatened.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it's not easy to have sex conversations. But I think it's so
Mhm.
freaking important to say what you like, what you want to do, what you don't like. It's making it's freaking easier for both, for men and women.
Mhm.
I don't know why you guys are so scared about this.
Can you tell me about a time you tried to have a conversation with a man about the bedroom?
You mean when I'm meeting someone and when I start to talk about sex? I don't know. It depends from vibe. If I feel that it's someone who want to have a coffee with me, and I feel that coffee might be the first and the last one, of course I will not talk about sex. But for me, it's not something I keep for our 25 meeting. I start this kind of conversation quite early, and I say it very straight, like, what do you like to do? How do you like to do it? Because I told you, for me, it's very, very important. And the way how you like to have sex tells a lot of things about you, actually.
Mhm.
And I start this kind of conversation quite early.
And how do they usually react? What is the most, expected response?
I mean, I think they are quite surprised that I am so open to talk about this. But these conversations are not, how to say this, it's not like a very slutty way of conversation. It's like we talk about basic stuff, like what kind of coffee you like. It's just a conversation about sex. And they are quite surprised that I am so open about this. But later it turns out really good. They're like, that's nice that you said this. That's nice that you want to talk about this. That's really nice that you like to talk about this. Yeah.
Hmm. Did it ever happen after the sexual experience? Like you had sex with a guy and then you had this talk about it, or is it always happening before?
No, no, it definitely happened. But it was a long time ago. Right now, I'm just trying to talk before we have sex. Because if it happened after, that's what I was talking about. Like the guy feels that he did something wrong,
Hmm.
and I wasn't satisfied enough, and now I'm trying to tell him that you don't know how to have sex. You have to do it my way. So I always try to do it before to find out what he
Hmm.
likes. Do I like? I want to tell him.
What would you say are the most common mistakes that you witnessed men do in bed?
There's a lot, a lot of things. I mean, I think that men, a lot of men, they don't know women's bodies. They think they know them, but they don't. But the worst thing is that they don't really want to discover them. They really don't want to learn how our body works. Of course, it works different with every woman, right? But that's the worst thing when men think that he knows everything and he doesn't need to learn anything. And that's the
Hmm.
most annoying.
Can you give me some examples?
The most of the time it's about being too, let's say, violent with our body, like with our breasts or the clit. It's because they watch too much porn.
Mhm. You're talking about the lack of awareness of how sensitive the female body can be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I said, the biggest mistake is that they don't want to learn this because they know that they knows everything. They think that they know everything. I think that's the worst thing. And if you talk about this submissive vibe sex, it's a lot of people, men and women, they think that it's about violence,
Hmm.
uh, and it's not. It's not about this. They were like, no, no, I don't want to hurt you. Uh, I don't want to hit you. I don't want to make bruises on your body. They think that's kind of that they humiliate you, and they are like, no, no, I
Hmm.
would never do this. They don't feel. how it works.
So this archetype of the nice guy
Yeah,
who believes that women are too fragile to handle a little,
yeah,
and when you try to bring it up, they associate this kind of act, like this submissive, dominant kind of sex, as violent or degrading in some way.
yeah. And when they think only about themselves, because if he come
Mm,
in this way, it means you have to do the same, and if you didn't,
mhm.
that's your problem, not his.
Very
They don't think
interesting.
they should
Very
touch
interesting.
you, or make you more horny. No, 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 no. They did their job. That's enough.
That's something that I talked about as well before, which is the different impact of the levels of touch on the female and the male body. As in, the female body needs to be kind of familiar with the touch a little bit in the beginning, and then like just slowly building up the intensity as you go. But it's not really. There's also another common mistake that men think that it's a time issue, as in you start slow and then you go up, 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 and that they forget to actually measure the female body's response to each kind of increase in the intensity of the touch.
But it also happen when you use sex as just to have a quick fuck, quick come, and that's it, and you don't see the real beautiful kind of act in this. I mean, I'm not saying
And
that
well,
just quick fuck is bad, but not always. It's just
it has
it
its
should be a
places for
pleasure for
sure.
both.
I mean, this those kind of quickies, they do have their place, and they can have their own kind of magic to them,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
of
not the
course.
main thing. It shouldn't be the only theme.
It's about the way, not about the goal, always, even with sex. It's not about how you come, but it's about how you reach this point when you want to come.
I get it. It's like a dance. Like a lot of people can think of it as a race. If you had two pianists sitting there with their pianos, it's never really a race on who is going to finish the piano play faster. It's just who is gonna be more in tune with the rhythm, who's gonna compose the better piece, the more captivating piece.
Yeah, exactly,
Mm.
exactly.
You said right now is like the pace and the intensity can be wrong sometimes. But what is the second most common mistake that you noticed with men?
And they are boring sometimes. They don't want to do anything crazy. I mean, crazy, not crazy, but anything different. But they have just. But it's not only about men actually. It's about couples when people are in a relationships. That's what they do. They have uh the way how they do sex. It always work because it always end with orgasm. So they do it every time the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Change anything. It works. That's good. Let it work.
Mm-hmm. So they don't experiment much
Yeah.
beyond this
They,
specific script.
yeah. They don't dance.
Would you mind telling me about sex life in long-term relations? Like, I'm assuming that it starts pretty intense in the beginning and then there's a theme
To
that
be honest,
repeats itself.
it's never been very intense. It was the
Mm,
basic one. It was this kind of basic one. Like but that there was a time when I didn't notice this kind of things because no one told me that sex is about, like I said right now, about the road, not about the orgasm. For me, it's really not easy to reach an orgasm. It's really not easy. And for a really long time, I couldn't enjoy sex that much because I was always focused like, will I come this time or not? And that was the main part I was focusing. When I discovered that I really enjoy sex, even if I don't have orgasm at the end, that was the fucking really good part of my life because I was like, hey, 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 it's not always about orgasm. But yeah, but with a relationship, it was very basic, nothing crazy. We
what is
didn't
basic?
like in bed. a few positions, wearing condom. First you have to take a shower.
Mm.
You have to
There's a
take a shower.
ritual before it.
Yeah, like old couple with two children like this. But like I said, I didn't notice right then that I'm unhappy with this and there's something wrong with this and it shouldn't be like this. It was enough for me because I didn't
Mhm.
know that I can do it in a different way.
Was your partner experienced? Did he have
No,
a lot of
no.
sex before this relationship?
I think he had only one partner before, one or two maybe, but no, he wasn't very experienced too.
And was he your first partner?
What do you mean? Wait, I don't understand this question.
Was he your first?
He my first sex? Yes.
He was your first sex.
He was my first sex, yes.
So both of you didn't really know what you're doing.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. I told
Mm.
you we learned everything together. I mean, he had sex before me, but I don't know what kind of sex. We didn't talk about his previous his relations.
Mm.
I mean, relations, yes, but I didn't. I never asked how if did he has a good sex. Never.
Would you ever date another inexperienced guy again in your life?
Right now, yeah. I mean, I could try. Because right now I'm much more aware of what I want. I can tell him, I can show him, I can explain him. Most of the time I'm meeting with the guys who knows what to do and who like to talk to me about this. Uh, but why not? Last year I had the boy. He was much younger than me and he wasn't very experienced. But he let me guide him, and it was really nice experience for me and for him also.
Don't you feel like some of the attraction is lost when you take this teacher role?
No, it was completely different experience, completely different. Because most of the time I am the submissive one. And this time, I mean, he wasn't submissive because I was like a teacher. I wasn't very submissive right then. So it was completely different experience for me, but I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like I lost interest or there's something wrong. I just that was completely different role for me, and I also enjoyed it. Just needed to change my state of mind a bit, but it was good. It was cool.
How many sex partners have you had in your life?
I never count seriously, but not that much. I would have to count. Really not that much because I'm not in a relationship, but I have people I have sex with for some time. I don't like this sex appointments. Like we talk, we meet for sex, and then we're sending likes on Instagram to each other, but we don't talk anymore.
Hmm.
I like to have any connection with this person, even if it's not a relationship. But I want to like this person, and I want to have some connection to have really good sex. To really enjoyed it.
Do you believe that there's a number that is, because you said not too much, do you believe there is a specific number then that would be too much?
Mm, I don't like to judge people like this. But on the other hand, I think there is something wrong with your emotional sphere when you have too many sexual friends. I don't know what too many means for me, actually. And like I said, I'm the last person who will judge someone for having sex. But it's more like I said, it's for me, it's something wrong with your emotional part.
Hmm.
Or maybe you should focus on this and try to understand what's going.
By that, do you mean that they're using sex as some kind of an escape from reality and there are
on.
issues that are unresolved and they try to run away from those issues through sex?
Yes, and they are not able to make any bonds, any emotions are not involved in this. They're happy, that's cool, but I think there is something missing. But that's the only reason why I think it's not quite good. Not like you can't have sex with too many guys because you're slut. No,
Hmm.
it's not this feelings. It's just that's from my side,
What do you
because
think
I know how.
about guys who have a lot of partners, are the rules similar or are they the same in a way?
I think they have some kind of complex. They need to, value themselves, having as much women as they can. But I think it works a bit different with men and women. But if for for men, obviously it works a bit different to have sex. It's easier, I guess. You don't have this.
Emotionally, you mean?
Yeah, you
Like the
don't need this.
emotional price is not the same.
Yeah, and you don't need to this emotional attachment like we do. I mean, of course, it's not about every man, but most of the time. I mean, the worst thing is that I wanted to say something more about this, but it's really hard for me to express it in English. Because what I meant, even when I'm trying to talk with guys about sex, it's not about being a slut. It's not about being slutty in this. It's like I said, it's like a conversation about what kind of coffee you like. Of course, it's something different to talk about sex than talk about your favorite color or something.
Mm.
But shouldn't
It's,
demon
I mean, sex is a lot more personal and it's a lot
yes, but
more connected to
demonize
the ego.
when a girl trying to talk to you about sex, that means she's a prostitute on or she think only about sex, and she can't be a good girlfriend or something because she think only about sex. We should stop demonize it. I don't know if I can say it. This kind of conversations, it's nothing wrong with this. It's good. It's fucking good to talk
Mm.
about this. You don't have to talk about
But
this day.
part
It's
of you, does part of you wish that the man would just get it and you wouldn't have to talk about it?
yeah, but it's risky. It's risky. There's nothing wrong with this kind of conversation. Of course, I mean, sometimes, few times it happened to me.
Hmm.
Okay, not a few times, maybe two times it happened. We met. It was really strong connection, really strong feelings. We just had it, and it turns out that we liked the same. He knew what to do. He felt my body like no one else, and it just worked. And of course, it happened. But when we have a conversations, when we talk to each other, why we can't talk about the way how we like sex? We know that we will
Hmm.
have this sex sooner or later. Why we can't talk about this?
Hmm. Kind
I'm
of a
not saying
taboo in a way.
yes, but why?
Society
Why we
here,
all
at least,
do
has a
sex?
shame around it.
Yeah, but we all
It-
have sex. Why we can't talk about
I mean,
having sex with each
not
other?
before marriage for sure, because sex before marriage is only for sluts.
Okay, that's not good for me. I mean,
I
but
get what you mean. It's a conservative country.
yeah, but right now, no one believes. I mean, okay, not many people believes in sex after marriage, but still, we don't talk about this. We all know
Mhm.
that we do this, but we still don't talk about this. Why?
That's the kind of questions I'm trying to get the clear answer to. It feels like you're challenging some really strong forces in society when you are bringing up conversations about sex.
I don't know why it's a taboo.
Religion needed to control sexuality in so many ways because it wanted to create a society with like more predictable parameters, and the expression of female sexuality is very dangerous to societies at some point. They needed to somehow domesticate women, kind of like how we domesticated animals, and the way to do it is by like by punishing certain behaviors and rewarding other behaviors. So you reward this kind of good girl purity kind of behavior, and you would punish this, you know, this slut kind of behavior.
Yeah, you don't know how many times I heard that I am very open to talk about this and it's so unusual. And I was like, okay, but do you mind that I will tell you what I like and that I will ask you what you like? And he was like, no, no, it's actually kind of nice. No, it has nothing to do with being slutty. It has nothing to do sending you my naked pictures or something.
Hmm.
It's about knowing to each other.
It's in the subconscious, though, even if it's not very clear, because those messages are programmed in our heads, you know, very deeply into the brain. I find it hilarious.
It is. It is hilarious, yes.
Well, thank you, Paulina.